I'm Drew Weston, and let me tell you a little bit about who I am. I spent about 25 years as a psychologist, researcher, political psychologist, neuroscientist, and a clinical psychologist who spent time with patients listening to what whirs in the back of their minds. We often can't tell what's going on in our own heads. You know, if you ask somebody, what's happening in your liver right now, they'd say, I don't know. It actually turns out that that's the same thing they ought to tell you when you ask them what's going on in your brain right now, because they actually don't know that either. They don't know that either. And so what that means is that you've got to measure it in some other way. You've got to find some other way to get at it, and that's what the strategies at Implicit Strategies are all about. That's what our technologies do. They measure what's whirring around in the back of people's heads that they can't tell you, but that are tremendously important in determining their behavior. What's particularly important are the emotional responses that people have, because people are drawn by their emotions. You know, we're not all that different from other animals, much as we'd like to see ourselves as very different from, you know, rats and sheep and other animals, even chimpanzees, which are closer to us. The reality is that there's a reason why we try things like antidepressants on rats before we try them on humans. It's because we have similar neurochemistry. We have similar neural circuits. It shows on some people more than it shows on others, but like other animals, we are drawn to things that feel good, or we expect that will feel good, or we've experienced in the past will feel good, and we're pushed away from or repelled by things that feel bad. That's basically what motivates us, whether it's a product, whether it's a person, whether it's an interaction we have with someone. If something sticks in our craw, if something just doesn't feel right, we may not even be aware 2 years later, 1 year later, 3 months later that it didn't feel good, but that feeling still sticks. And there are ways to measure that, but you can't measure that by asking people. And that's what we do at Implicit Associations. We assess those neural networks, those implicit associations, those unconscious ideas, feelings, emotions, memories that people can't always report. And particularly we get at those feelings, because those are the feelings that move consumers. Those are the feelings that move voters. And that's what we do at Implicit Strategies. We measure what people can't always tell you about that actually makes a lot of difference in their behavior.